Will Hunting is the kind of guy you meet once and never forget. He's 20, lives in South Boston, works as a janitor at MIT, and also happens to be a once-in-a-generation genius. A kid who reads advanced physics textbooks the way others read the sports section. But he hides all that behind sarcasm, fights, and a beer with his friends in the neighborhood. The story begins in the quiet halls of MIT, where Professor Gerald Lambeau, a celebrated mathematician, writes an extremely difficult equation on a hallway chalkboard, something he expects only his brightest students to attempt. Weeks go by, nobody touches it. Then one day, the chalkboard is mysteriously filled in, perfectly solved. Lambeau is stunned. Who did it? Cut to Will, casually mopping the hallway floors. He passes the chalkboard like he's walking past a grocery list. No pride, no show. Just doing it because why not? But Will's life isn't as smooth as his math skills. One night, after drinking with his three best friends Chucky, Morgan, and Billy, he gets into a fight defending one of them. It's not new for him. Will's fists usually speak before his brain does. This time, it gets him arrested. In court, the judge reads off Will's record: assault, theft, resisting arrest, you name it. Will stands there like he's checking the weather. But this time, he's made a mistake. He hit a cop. And the judge is ready to throw the book at him. That's when Professor Lambeau enters like a strange kind of guardian angel. He's been searching for the mystery genius who solved his impossible problem, and he found Will. Lambeau offers Will a deal. He'll get him out of jail if Will agrees to work with him on advanced mathematics and attend therapy once a week. Will agrees, but only because it's better than jail. Now we get one of the funniest montages in the movie, Will cycling through therapist after therapist, absolutely destroying each one. He mocks them, exposes them, flips their own textbooks against them. One even ends up screaming at him. Lambeau is running out of options when he turns to an old friend, Sean McGuire, a community college psychology professor who grew up in the same tough South Boston environment as Will. Sean is different. Where others saw a problem, Sean sees a kid who's built walls so high he can barely breathe behind them. Their first session is a disaster. Will finds a painting in Sean's office and tears into it, mocking Sean, mocking the emotion in the brushstrokes, mocking the idea of vulnerability. But then he crosses a line. He mentions Sean's late wife. For the first time, Will meets someone who doesn't back down. Sean grabs him by the throat, pins him against the wall, and with pain in his voice says, "If you ever disrespect my wife again, I will end you." But that moment doesn't break the connection, it forges it. Sean becomes the first person Will can't outsmart with words. The first person who can look right through him. And the first person Will feels a tiny bit scared of, not because Sean is violent, but because Sean knows what real loss is. He knows what love is. And he sees Will hiding from both. Meanwhile, Will's life outside therapy is changing too. At a bar near Harvard, Will meets Skylar, a British pre-med student who's funny, brilliant, and charming in a way Will doesn't know how to handle. Their banter is quick, sarcastic, and adorable. They fall for each other fast, but Will keeps her at arm's length. Every time she tries to get close, he turns it into a joke. Because for him, love equals vulnerability, and vulnerability equals pain. Back in the academic world, Lambeau pushes Will harder and harder. To Lambeau, Will is a once-in-a-century mathematical mind that must be cultivated, sculpted, and celebrated. But Will sees math differently. To him it's easy like breathing, and he feels no need to become the next Einstein. This creates friction between Lambeau and Sean. Lambeau wants success. Sean wants healing. Lambeau pushes deadlines. Sean pushes honesty. The two argue over what's best for Will, but it's clear they admire each other deeply beneath the frustration. As therapy sessions continue, Sean slowly peels back Will's armor. One day, Sean tells Will a story about how he met his wife. He gave up tickets to a legendary baseball game, Game 6 of the 1975 World Series, to talk to her in a bar. Will laughs, saying no woman is worth missing that game. But Sean looks him dead in the eyes and says, "I didn't know that night I would meet the woman I would love for the next 20 years. It's the first time Will sees that life isn't about winning, or being the smartest, or having control. It's about connection. Sean teaches Will something else too. Not every relationship ends in heartbreak. Not every risk destroys you. But Will isn't ready to believe that. Not yet. The turning point arrives when Skylar asks Will to move to California with her. She tells him she loves him. She wants a future together. Will panics. He lashes out. He says cruel things. He sabotages it. Because loving her means letting her see the real him, the bruises, the trauma, the scars from years of abuse growing up in foster homes. He'd rather push her away than let her discover he's broken. So she leaves, heartbroken. After she's gone, Will faces the ugliest truth: the person ruining his life is him. Now the story shifts to Will's friendship with Chucky. Chucky is the kind of friend who loves you enough to tell you the truth, even if it hurts. One morning, the two are at a construction site eating lunch. Will casually mentions he's thinking of working construction forever. Chucky throws his sandwich down and unloads on him. He tells Will that staying in the neighborhood, wasting his intelligence, is the most selfish thing he could do. He dreams of the day he knocks on Will's door, and Will isn't there not because Will died or went to jail, but because Will finally left to become something greater. It's a wake-up call only a best friend can deliver. The final therapy session is the emotional climax of the film. Will hands Sean his case file, the details of the abuse he suffered as a child. Sean flips through it, heartbroken. He looks at Will. And in a quiet voice he says, "It's not your fault." Will shrugs it off. He's heard that before. Sean moves closer. "It's not your fault." Will rolls his eyes, makes a joke. Sean steps even closer. The words start breaking down the walls Will has held up his entire life. "It's not your fault." Sean repeats it until Will collapses into tears, finally letting someone hold him. After that breakthrough, everything changes. Sean realizes that Will is ready to take control of his life. Lambo backs off, understanding that pushing Will too hard was hurting him. Chucky waits every morning, hoping this will be the day his best friend leaves. Skylar is far away in California, but still in Will's heart. Then Will makes his choice. He turns down the high-paying job offers. Instead, he writes Sean a note. "Sean, I gotta go see about a girl." Those are the same words Sean once said about the night he met his wife. A perfect full-circle moment. In the final scene, Chucky pulls up to Will's house for their usual ride. He knocks. No answer. He peeks in the window. Nobody there. And Chucky smiles the biggest, proudest smile of his life. Meanwhile, Will drives toward California, toward Skylar, toward a life he finally believes he deserves. No longer running from his past but running toward his future.